What about students that are getting a bachelor's degree in math or maybe a master's degree in math? Like what advice or what thoughts on a career trajectory would you have for students with those types of degrees?
Try to find some internship opportunities. I would recommend try to find some local companies in Iowa that have internships. It's very important to get familiar with industry environment before you decide to join it.
Greetings. Welcome to Eric's Angle, the podcast for Iowa State mathematics students. I am your host, Eric Weber, chair of the mathematics department at Iowa State University. Today's guest earned a PhD in applied mathematics from us in 2013. He is Maksym Pryporov, and he is now a senior analytics engineer for Occidental Petroleum. He is passionate about using real-world mathematics for real-world applications and enjoys spending time with family, running, and hiking. Please welcome Maksym Pryporov. Hi, Max. Welcome to Eric's Ankle. Thanks for being here.
Hi Eric, thank you for inviting me.
So, why don't we start with you telling us a little bit about your story?
Sure. I was born in Eastern Ukraine, in Donetsk city. I was growing up in 1990s, which was a pretty tough time. But my family was very well educated, and I was growing up in a family of applied mathematicians, computer scientists. So it was more like a family tradition to be good in mathematics. Um, my parents were applied mathematicians by education. Um, later on they switched their jobs, but we studied a lot. And my older sisters also were pretty good in mathematics and other sciences. Um, so to me, choosing mathematics was a natural choice, but I liked many other subjects such as history, geography, literature, physics. And later on in life, when people asked me, why did you choose math? I mainly joked saying that I did it for economic reasons, because to be a mathematician, you need only pen and paper. But if you want to pursue your career in some science or technology, you rely a lot on expensive equipment, and at that time it was very difficult to get it. So it was pretty safe choice for me uh, to go to this route. Also, in my family, everyone was winning some kind of Olympic competitions in science or whatever subject. And I remember when I was in the first grade, my parents asked me, "Are you going to win any competition?" And I said, "Of course I will." But then it took me almost 10 years. When I was in high school, I won a local competition in mathematics, and I was admitted to one of smaller colleges in my home city. But I wanted um, to go to some bigger colleges, so I still took some entrance exams and studied mathematics. My older sister Olga also went for PhD, so she went to Iowa State and graduated in 2009. So I
I remember
knew
her.
very little, yeah, about American colleges, but I knew Iowa State. It was something that I was looking for to join, and it was pretty natural choice for me to go abroad. I learned English when I I was a kid. So it was important to have you know uh, background to have a diversified skill set uh, to go to pursue study abroad. And well, this is how I ended up in Iowa State.
Hmm. I'm amused that you mentioned mathematics just requiring pencil and paper because I've told people over the years that the best part of my job is I can do it anywhere because it only requires pencil and paper. And the
Mm.
worst part of my job is also that I can do it anywhere because it only needs pencil and paper.
Wow. Wow,
You,
this
you,
is a
you, ne-
very
you never you never get away from the work, right? If all you need
yeah,
is a
yeah,
pencil and paper.
yeah.
So
And
you mentioned a little bit earlier before we started the recording about your thought process as a math major as an undergraduate student. So I'd like to hear I'd like to hear about that for our audience.
oh yeah, that's a very interesting question, very relevant for math majors, because when entering college, I had a lot of hesitations. It was mathematics is providing me good opportunities for the future career. Mainly, my father was encouraging me to study math, even though he's more like computer scientist, but he was thinking that uh, nowadays computer science is not as good as it used to be because there is too much focus on software programming languages and too little on actually problem solving. So he told me that it's better if you learn some fundamentals, that you know some um, very uh, basic, I should say, but also very important concepts in mathematics, and later you can apply it in real world. You can learn different computer languages, different softwares. So that was the logic there. But to me, from day one in undergraduate, I was already thinking, how can I uh, start my career? What am I going to do? One of our math professors was also telling some half joke, half truth. He was saying that a mathematician can become anyone, but not anyone could become a mathematician. Basically telling that you can do many different things. And yeah, as we spoke about it, you can pursue your career in finance. I somewhat was interested in that later on when I was talking to people in my company. We were discussing why finance doesn't feel uh, very natural to me, why this happens, and they told me, well, because it depends so much on human emotions. It's so unpredictable, and I am more like a person that wants to rely on some solid foundations, on some science, whatever natural science, it's just more suitable for my mindset. So when I was in the undergrad, the first couple of years were very interesting because you learn science that is well established, like calculus, probability theory, differential equations are super important. Uh, I would encourage students to combine mathematics with some cross-disciplinary topics. It could be something very close to mathematics, such as statistics or finance. It could be economics. Um, when I was in, I enjoyed a lot some like cross-disciplinary subjects as well. But when I was in Iowa State, I also took course in economics, and even I took a course in quantum chemistry. So it's important to keep your interests diverse, so it will help you in the future.
Hmm. That's a lot of great advice. I appreciate that. So tell us a little bit about what your job looks like now. Like, what does a typical day look like? I mean, I think a lot of our students would ask the question, are you actually doing mathematics in your role now? Um, and I think you mentioned your previous position at the same company was actually called mathematical scientist, and now it's I forget it exactly, but it's something engineer. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about those details as well.
Uh, yes. The reason I decided to switch from academia to industry was mainly, well, there were several reasons for that. One of them was that I wanted to apply what I learned and what I did in my graduate school to real world, but it was very hard to find a position that would require a lot of mathematical uh, skills. At least at that time, I had this perception, which actually turned out not very accurate. And it was 2017 when I decided to switch. So my day-to-day work, well, it's work in office in front of a computer. Most of the time, we work on some deep, complex problems that we want to solve. So it fits me pretty well because it both, mathematicians, most of mathematicians probably are introverts, and I'm a little bit of both. I like to stay alone and work hard on something, and at the same time, I like to meet people with different background and share ideas. So it's a combination of focused work and also meetings. We have online meetings and face-to-face meetings. We work in a hybrid setting, so Mondays and Fridays are work from home, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are working in the office. Um, for the mathematics, I was surprised how much it is used in a way that, well, we have a lot of data, so we do need to understand statistics very well. We do need to be proficient in coding. Mainly the Python is the main language that we are using. Uh, at the same time, there could be some more like hardcore mathematical problems. It could be related to partial differential equations, Fourier transform, wavelets, um, image processing, compressive sensing. So there are so many things that I had some understanding of those uh, concepts before that, but I really learned it by doing that. My first impression when I just joined my company was that it's some kind of postdoc appointment, but the level of intensity is 3 to 4 times higher, that you have to work on multiple projects simultaneously. Um, all my teammates also had PhDs, mainly in STEM. Well, we had some mathematicians, we had some. By the way, the group was organized by our Iowa State alumni Reza Rastigar, who graduated, I believe, in 2012. He had some industry experience. Now he moved to the West Coast. But it was his idea to bring very highly educated people in one group. And, most of the big companies have research and development teams. Some of them delegate this research and development to some service companies or some smaller startups, but very often they like to have some, they call it in-house teams that can uh, find some interesting problems. A typical project in industry consists of proof of concept, when basically we want to figure out whether some idea is useful, applicable. Then we call it MVP, which is minimum viable product, when we already want to apply this concept to some real data and get some value of it. And then there is upscaling of this project and adoption, implementation. So multiple stages. And I like doing it because um, in academia, mainly we work on a proof of concept, and then it may be difficult to follow whether we really uh, put this concept in production or we just move to the next topic, right? So yeah, that's quite fulfilling, quite interesting work, and I'm surprised that a lot of time, quite often we use mathematics at work.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I certainly was thinking you're speaking my love language when you were talking about Fourier transform and wavelets and compressed sensing and image processing. That's stuff that I've done for many, many years. And I knew that there was a connection to geophysics when I was studying wavelets many years ago, because one of the founding fathers, in a sense, of wavelet theory was coming from a geophysical background. Um, and I'm glad to hear that wavelets are actually still useful, because
Oh,
they kind of went by the wayside,
yeah.
10,
They are
15
used a
years
lot
ago.
even this week we were talking about it. People make presentations in the companies about what kind of wavelets you use, statistical wavelets or others. Yes, this is
Hmm.
a big topic.
So, so does it feel like you made a analogy to like a postdoc position where you have multiple projects you're working on? So does it have an academic environment feel to it? You just talked about a presentation. Would it be analogous to a seminar talk you would find in a math department?
Well, yes, for sure we can find this similarity. I would say in industry, people are way more visual. If you can show them a picture, they would appreciate this more than rather than you show them some table saying, I trained a group of machine learning models. Here is a table of the accuracy. They may not really like it, but you need to show some graphs, some real data for them. They would like it more. But yeah, there are a lot of similarities, and um, we go for conferences just a little over a month ago. I was in a geophysical conference called Image. It's like a pretty big conference. Every year they have it in Houston. Um, just last week I was speaking at our company's webinar. Mainly, it was highly technical presentation, but at the same time I tried to um, use some philosophical ideas on how you combine artificial and natural intelligence in solving problems. So yes, we have very good environment with uh, some people are trained in academia. They could work as professors and decided to join industry at some point. Some people they may not have background in this, but they are very interested in learning coding, learning data science. So there are hundreds of people who join this seminar talks every other week, and it's very interesting to share knowledge.
Hmm. Well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
You are coming to your position with a PhD from Iowa State University, which of course we're very proud of that. What about students that are getting a bachelor's degree in math or maybe a master's degree in math? Like what advice or what thoughts on a career trajectory would you have for students with those types of degrees?
Mhm. Well, I think it's important uh, to work hard during your study. What I would suggest, if possible, try to find some internship opportunities during summer. Uh, our company does have a lot of internships, and there are quite a few undergraduate internship available. But well, Texas obviously has so many colleges, the competition is very high. I would recommend try to find some local companies in Iowa that have internships. Um, it's very important to get familiar with industry environment before you decide to join it. Um, yeah, think about something, uh, some courses that would expand your skill set. When I was in Iowa State, the last course that I took, I actually was already a postdoc. In Iowa State, I stayed for another year and a half, and uh, my wife actually suggested me to take a course in statistics. It was Introduction to R Studio, I believe. It's a software that I used in the first several years of my work, and I know it's still quite popular. It's statistical software. It was very important to be able to translate your mathematical thoughts into programming language. So this is helpful. For the career, uh, I wish I knew better when I was undergraduate. Uh, well, think about it. Mathematics is providing you with very good foundation. That problem solving ability is something that is appreciated a lot, and there are a lot of talks about artificial intelligence as well. But if you have some uh, unique ways of solving problems, you will be irreplaceable.
Mm.
So I would recommend students uh, to work hard on mathematics and at the same time find their interest in some cross-disciplinary fields because all the projects that I work with are multidisciplinary.
Yeah, you've mentioned that a couple times, so I want to highlight that specifically, that it's great for students pursuing a math degree to have some sort of secondary discipline. The way I would describe it at Iowa State is like a secondary credential, so a minor or a certificate, something like that. Even a concurrent degree, a bachelor's in math, master's degree in something else. And I'm really trying to push that to our students here at Iowa State. So I'm glad to hear that you're making very similar recommendations for our students. So, Max, it's been great having you on Eric's Angle. I've enjoyed hearing about your experiences and your thoughts on how our students can pursue career opportunities. So, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's it's a pleasure to talk to you.